Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy SCGRANT here, and I'm finally back with some Digital Circus content. It has been a while since I've done my reviews of episodes. I believe it would have been 5 and 6. Yeah, 5 and 6 were my last of the Digital Circus videos. Because I did, I combined those two episodes together. Well, let's get this all out of the way right now. It's time to hop into episodes 7 and 8. Yep, the beach episode, and the 8th episode is... And no, I'm not kidding, the title is just random letters typed in a keyboard, but yeah. Digital Circus 7 and 8. Let's talk about the 7th one. The 7th one was obviously, as we finally got some confirmation that, yeah, the gang thought they could finally find their way out of the Digital Circus. But let's just say not all things went to plan, because it got pretty suspicious. You see, throughout this whole deal, pretty much the gang, pretty much Pomni, Jax, Ragatha, Kinger, Zubo, and Gangle pretty much had enough of Gang's adventures, so they want to try something differently. Once again, it's always all over the place. So basically what Kay decided was to give him this little Chinese room they had, but I'm like, okay. But the most obvious thing, and this was actually been hinted at throughout the episodes, yes, past episodes, but there was this figurine, this figurine has been pretty much been scoping him out ever since the show's inception, and it was obvious that something was off. So I had to basically put two and two together and realize that something bigger was going on. So I decided to say, okay, what is this all leading to? So let's just jump right. So they all went to the Chinese room, and in fact they need a key to it. I'm like, hey Jax, you got any keys to that thing? I'm like, because apparently that Jax has the keys to pretty much everybody's rooms, but to this room, no. It just fits it. But then all of a sudden there was another person out of there. Like, okay, so they went to the Chinese room, and with this how you say this figurine? I refer to it as this figurine named Abel. Basically, tell them like, okay, apparently you guys are trapped in this digital space. You can do headsets and trapped in some pods and stuff. Jax calls bullshit, and basically, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I'm with Jax on this one because come on, that is too much of a coincidence. That is too good to be true. No way that pretty much these characters were pretty much like kidnapped and put into stasis pods to basically end up in the Digital Circus. That is bullshit, man. Come on, man. But the fun thing is that Kinga was left out of the whole ordeal. Yeah, Kinga got left out of the whole ordeal because, once again, I think this Abel character did not want Kinga involved because, well, the fans knew and actually theorized that Kinga may have been a programmer on the Digital Circus itself. So they didn't want him out, but once again, the gang wanted him in on it, so yeah, they wanted Kinga on it, so they all can escape together. But keep this in mind, I was kind of like, wait, is this how it all ends? Are they really gonna get out of here? Like, cause I find that too good to be true. No way they're just gonna get out that easy, man. Come on, this is Digital Circus. We're not, like I said, this is episode 7. We're not near the final episode, bro. There's gotta be more of this than that, bro. So I started rolling with it to see where it's gonna go. They all actually went to Kane's office and all that, and basically they needed to find a way. They had to get out sort of admin keys to actually get into Kane's office, and they did. They basically scoured through his office to find out all the various adventures. In fact, a little side note, the whole episode, the whole thing that started off was simply having the gang going at the beach, like, okay, we got some fun, got some nice relaxation, that's what they wanted it. And then all of a sudden Jax was there too. He did not want to deal with it ever since the last episode and all that. And he goes back to his room and realizes the fact is that, well, let's just say things aren't what they meant to be, man. Because basically, if you remember, there were two characters that were hinted at the series that were already abstracted. That would be Kaufman and Rivet. And yes, it was confirmed. He did hang out with them at one point, and they too ended up getting extracted. This caused Jax going through some sort of depression. Realized the fact is that the two people he hung out with before Pomni and the others showed up, it was obviously that something went down. It was really how it all went. Is that Jax even went as far as to start tripping balls to the point that he was about to extract, but he was woke up by pretty much Pomni and the others. Yeah, he was going to extract again. This was not the first time he was on the verge of extracting. Yeah, he was on the verge of extracting, but now we got full confirmation that Jax went ahead and did the whole ordeal. Like, he decided to roll with it, but it was till at the very end that they thought they made it out. There were two options, red or blue. It's the thing from Matrix, the red pill or the blue pill. And obviously, then Pomni started asking questions about the choices. People saying, no, Pomni, we need to get out of here now, bro. It's obviously blue means we're getting out of here, bro. But no, it was this whole ordeal has gotten to Jackson so much he went and pressed the red button, and it turns out it was the good ending. Kane pointed out the good ending, but wait, something wasn't right. How did you know that? How did you know like this whole ordeal was another one of Kane's adventures to think that the gang would actually get out of the digital circus, only to be bamboozled? But that's when things got him. Jax was right. I repeat, the fans can't believe I'm saying this, but Jax was right. It was too good to be true. There was no way out of the digital circus, but that'll be a lie because we know we still got episode 9 to worry about. But yeah, it comes to show that pretty much, yeah, Jax was right. And they got everybody ticked off at Kane, but it turns out more than that, involving a character known as Scratch, who had first extracted and eaten the revelations that Kane can modify them. Yes, right, the whole stupid sauce thing, the Jax turning vegan thing, he can, it's just that there's some limitations what he can and can't do as the Ringmaster. But that leads to episode 8. Yes, we picked up right where we left off. Everybody was processing what has happened in that room. The fact that Jax was right. And the fact is that, yes, Kane, once again, Kane comes by for another adventure. But everyone said, no, we need to process what we just went through, bro. We felt like we got hoodwinked. And once again, man, the fact is that, hell, everybody have their own 2 cents, bro. Everybody have 2 cents of Kane knowing the fact. It's like, what the heck's going on here? Why can't we actually get out? Like, are we actually humans or just basically digitalized versions of what we once was in the real world? Something wasn't right. And once again, it got even crazier. We got the backstories of basically not only King Year's wife, Queenie, but every other employee who was, in fact, an employee who worked on the game, who got sucked into the digital circus. But how? Well, we learned through that digital headset that Pomni found back in the first episode. Ooh, that's a throwback right there. Was that it would have to be the headsets. But the question is how? How did this all lead up to this, man? Well, we got Scratch to think about because he is the character who Kinga referred to as the guy who thought outside the box. Hell, there was even a point that they had to make a second AI because the red one had to be Kane's and the blue one had to be the new. Had to be was most families Bubbles, but once again, that's still up to debate on that one. So we're gonna jump forward, and the fact is that pretty much process of situation. They want it out, man. They want the whole ordeal out. But that's when Pomni, once again, they did not want to deal with Kane's adventures no more. And that was the whole deal. They didn't want to deal with Kane's adventures no more. They're just processing what happened back in episode 7 to the point that they had enough. But that's where Kinger comes into play. And well, this is where we get the revelation. When Pomni put the bucket on his head and it gave it some time, Kinger finally revealed that yes, he was the one who created Kane. But something went wrong, and basically, as I said, Scratch thought outside the box. And now we're dealing with the revelation that if we're going to actually get out of the digital circus, we may have to rework Kane's overall code in the digital circuit itself. So Pomni had to use her powers and actually go back to where the show began, that same computer. Yes, King would need the PC in order to access Kane's code. And all this went down, Kane and everybody else kept Kane distracted, until eventually Kane said, wait, where's Kinger? And all of a sudden, bam! Everybody went hard on Kane, bro. Man, they told him that he ain't worth it, bro. He crashed out, bro. He crashed out! Until eventually, while Kinger was working on the computer, I'm like, come on. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, another AI came out of nowhere in the system and said, hey, you want to delete Kane? King said no, and all of a sudden, he accidentally deleted Kane. Kane just said, wait. He just deleted. It was Control, Alt, Delete. I repeat, Control, Alt, Delete. And everybody was flabbergasted by the whole situation. King accidentally killed Kane, but there's still questions. Did he do it accidentally, or was there something else in the system? What about the extracted people got extracted? Where are they gonna end up? Are they gonna run rampant? We don't know. That's where episode 9 comes in. Because I have a feeling that all of our questions related to what we just watched in episodes 7 and 8 are finally getting concluded in episode 9. And we've concluded that not only will it come out this year in June of 2026, that'll be an hour long, bro. Damn, man. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Digital Circus episodes 7 and 8, man. Everything just went bonkers, man. Kane got deleted, bro. We pretty much Thanos snapped his ass. And now, we're left with questions. They even put a tweet on there saying, what now? Everybody is now in pretty much a dystopian version of the Digital Circus now. Without Kane, everything's falling apart. So what now for the game? Who knows? We'll have to wait for episode 9 to figure that one out for ourselves. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Digital Circus episodes 7 and 8. Anyway, this is your boy SCGRANT, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care!